In today's podcast, we are joined by Eric from CV Food Truck, who is the owner and the guy who started this movement in the Coachella Valley, bringing food trucks to the community so you guys can hang out on the weekend, eat some food, stay out of trouble, have a good time. In this podcast, we talked about how nobody believed in him at first and how big his movement have gotten. We also encounter some people in Downtown India looking for gold. And it's an overall amazing podcast for anyone who's into entrepreneurship, anyone who wants to get involved with the community. So hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. Make sure you guys give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. You're listening on iTunes and Spotify. Make sure you guys give this a 5-star rating, leave a review, share with a friend. Let's get started with today's podcast with Eric from CV Food Truck.
I reached out to every food vendor, and a lot of them were like, "Oh, cool, okay. How many other events have you done?" I'm like, "This is my first one." All right, we'll call you back later.
Wow.
Now some of them did believe. It's funny because there were some vendors that just I had faith that they were gonna be like, they want to be part of it, and then we, just skepticism on new ventures. The scariest thing is the unknown. You don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like people, I've never even heard of that like happening until I started seeing your stuff. And I remember you guys built pretty good publicity leading up to it, because I saw it everywhere and everyone was talking about it. And then that was like the first event I actually did too. One of my first videos that I did for the city, well, not the city, but just in the city of Coachella. My friend invited me, my friend from AR Studios. He's been a photographer for a few years, and then he's like, "Hey, let's go. Let's do some videos for the seafood truck," because he knew the guy from the Coachella bar, Nick, and his friend DJ Contras was gonna be DJing. So he was like, "Hey, let's go do video for them." So we went, and then I just saw that. I'm just gonna make a vlog hanging out in Coachella, and then like it was just amazing. Like I didn't even expect it to be that big. I thought it was gonna be a few trucks, like smaller, but it was dope.
That's cool, man. That's I like that, I like the response from the community. That was what kept us going. And it was funny because we had originally thought like, a lot of the people that are gonna come are from Coachella.
Yeah.
And we were totally mistaken, because people from all over the valley
were showing up,
and it was just so cool. One of my favorite things that I constantly hear is, I went there and I saw a cousin that I hadn't talked to in a long time, and so that was really cool. The intrinsic value, I say. So,
yeah, it's because people are tired. It's like every year, like right now coming up in a couple of weeks, you have the fair.
Yeah.
And the fair's been the same for 25, 30 years, and we just still go because that's the only thing to do around this time, but you want something different, you want to try different food, you want new events, new venues, and like having all these food options, and like you said, a community event where you're going to run into people, and just something to do on the weekend. We need something like that. That's family friendly, that's not costing money, because we do have a lot of festivals and events here in the valley. It's not like we don't have a lot of stuff going on, but you got to pay. I mean, Coachella ticket, that's like the big one, but other ones you're paying $40-$50 just to get in, money at the door. And if you have a family of 4, you're spending like $100 just for tickets, and then you gotta buy food inside, and then you got, you know what I mean? It's just, it's not plausible.
Yeah, it's funny because like there's so many venues that like they miss the big picture over dollars, and free has no value, right? So I get that too. If it's free, you think free is not worth nothing, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost like the paper bag. It's almost like the plastic bag theory, like. If I charge it to you, you're still gonna pay for it, but you're gonna see the value of having that bag, so you might use it a couple more times.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like showing that it has a value, right? It's like there's those new labs that are popping up that people can go and they rent a space.
Yeah.
And it's just to it's just to maybe use the internet and read or do some homework, maybe have a small business meeting. What are they called? They're called co-ops or
WeWork or something like that, no?
Yeah. What are they called?
It's
They have a name.
I know WeWork was big on that, but I saw one recently. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram, but there's one where it's like a glass, kind of like a phone booth, but it's glass, and then people could, like, it's like soundproof, so you go in there and just focus, no distractions inside an office. It makes no sense, but it looked kind of cool. I was like, I don't know.
And it's like do you see the value of time, of a space where you can spend time, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It's a different concept. I thought it was really cool. You know, I think the more you provide them, I guess, at those areas, then maybe they'll be worth more. But yeah, the train.
The train should be alright.
The train is cool, man. You know, a lot of the from what I heard was Indio and a lot of other cities. They kind of were established because of the locations where the trains were. You know, the resources they could get dropped off.
No, what I read, it was India was the first city, the only city between Arizona and Los Angeles when they built the railroad track. So it was like a port where people come get supplies. So they started building little shops, hotels, entertainment centers, mechanics, because you're traveling.
That's
so
right.
India became like a hub, and then from there, all the desert cities kind of kept going. Yeah.
Yeah.
India's dope.
And that's where we're at right now. We are in downtown Indio.
Right by the train tracks.
Right by
If
the
you guys
train
are hearing
tracks,
them,
if you're hearing them,
you're hearing the cars. We're literally downtown Indio.
This is downtown Indio, which is really neat.
Yeah.
I love downtown Indio. I like walking up and down it. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I like the events that they have here, but like you said, they don't have that many events, and I think you're one of the people that are trying to change that by doing your CB food pop-ups and stuff.
Yeah, I think I think it's cool that cities are open to allowing this stuff, because like we're so lucky and we're so blessed to be in the desert, in the Coachella Valley specifically, where you can actually accomplish something if you put your mind to it. And that's like, you get told that all the time, like, oh, if you put your mind to it, you're gonna accomplish it. And
but one key factor too is the weather, because we have amazing weather.
We have amazing weather.
Like, our weather is badass. Like,
yeah, it's so cool. I'm not even tell you what I'm seeing right now, but
what are you looking at right now?
We got a guy with a metal detector. I think it's super cool. That is.
He's looking for hidden treasures in downtown India with the metal detector. That's bad.
I don't know. Bro. Yeah, no. And that's our homie. There's no joke, dude. That was not even planned.
I know.
That was not even planned.
Yeah, there's a dude walking around with a metal detector.
Yeah.
And you hear the train. Hopefully the train's not too loud. I mean, it's gonna be loud. So.
It's going by. It'll be all right.
Just get the mic a little closer to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the mic right here. Here we go. So, and it's funny because homie, out of all the places in downtown Indio to find treasures,
I know,
he decides to do it right in front of us, which is super, super cool.
If he finds something, he's gonna have the last laugh. He's gonna find some.
That's right, right? He's gonna look what I found, Yeah, that's really cool.
I'm so good. I heard you have to wear like headphones now to hear the beeps. I always see him on the beach with headphones. So.
Yeah, you're supposed to hear the.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know much about it.
I didn't even know people still do that.
I didn't know. It's funny because I bought a metal detector one time.
Oh, for reals?
Yeah, for reals. And I never used it. I never used it. So who knows how many treasures I could have uncovered if I would have used it,
That's true.
So return on investment, zero time in using it. I spent maybe 50 years. Actually, you are not going to believe me, but there's actually another guy coming up right now with another metal.
Are you serious?
You can believe me or not. I mean,
they got a team, bro. Are we missing something? Was there something here that we don't know about? Like downtown?
This is crazy.
I gotta record it with my phone. I'm posting this shit on the video. If you're watching on YouTube, you're gonna see the video right now.
Yeah, you gotta see this. This is crazy. This is so cool. It was like meant to be. You know what I mean? This is totally meant to be.
One dude with the metal detector, and then you got another dude with the metal detector, and they're trying to find something downtown Indio. I don't know. That's cool though.
That's really cool. I love it.
Hey, they're hustling on Saturday, trying to get that extra money.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody lost a wedding ring.
Oh, maybe. Oh, that could be it. Like someone lost an earring, a wedding.
Yeah, when you just happen to have homies with metal detectors. You know,
it's like, hey, bro.
You know, hey, let's just go out and.
You never know. You still have yours?
I don't. I do not.
I was gonna say, if you still had it, like if you end up losing something, just fucking.
That's true.
That's
true. Yeah, just go out and you know, just make it a day. Make it a date.
I've always wanted to do that, like archaeology or like exploring, like trying to find shit, because maybe from the Jurassic Park movies or something, but I always wanted to do some shit when I was a little kid. Just go try to discover something in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, I always like doing that. I forget if I was a dog in another world, I'd be that dog that hit the bone, you know.
A lot of them do that. I have two little dogs, but
yeah, dogs.
Yeah, they don't really dig that much. They're little.
I have two dogs too. They're brindle, pit bull mixes. His name is Samson.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the boy, and Delilah. Samson and Delilah.
Now I have I don't even know what my mutts are. They're just little mutts.
Yeah, I don't know I got mine on Craigslist, and when I went to go get her, I got her. He wanted $25 for her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, bro, I got $22. I actually lowballed him on my dog.
Wow.
Yeah, I got her.
You gotta get a bargain, bro.
And he lied to me because he had said that she was a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, she's almost a year old. She never grew. So I don't know how old she is. She never grew, brother.
She's been the same size.
She's been the same size. We just feed her a lot, so she's growing sideways. Not really. She's spoiled. But yeah, dude. Here we are, downtown Indio. So you made a valid point. You said why do we do just events?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know, man. The more I learn about the economics, the financial part about events, it trips me out. We can hit on a couple aspects, but we'll hit one. Here's one of the basic ones. Why is it that when we do events in general, why is it that most event organizers seek from outside of the city where they're doing the event to get the vendors?
Exactly.
Trips me out.
I always notice that too.
Did you notice that?
I always notice that.
I don't know.
Well, because people aren't putting out their businesses out there. Or like even how I was talking about the first event I ever heard of, the CV, or the food trucks here in the valley. I never even heard of people having like their own pop-up food truck type things. Like no one ever here in the valley was doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you think you need to have a healthy mix. You know, it needs to be, because you want to invite other types of businesses to your city.
Yeah.
And see if they may want to establish something here.
That's true.
We had at the event at Coachella, we had Lala's Crepes and Waffles.
Mm-hmm.
She's a creperie. Is that
creperie?
Creperie. In Crepe, La Crepe, in Cat City, and she did the event in Coachella, and she had such a big following that she ended up opening a shop in Indio.
Oh, she opened up a shop?
Yeah. I think she was looking at different locations, but she ended up finding a spot. And I think that's just super cool, you know?
Because the same thing we were talking off camera, we were saying that people still have a negative stigma about this side of the valley. Like, they don't want to come do business here. They don't want to associate with Indio or Coachella because for years it was always, like, a lot of violence and all that stuff. But
yeah,
things are changing now.
Things are changing. The culture's changing because a lot of times it has to do with like just like basic common sense stuff that even is not really manageable by anybody, any external people. Like, it's just the culture within it morphs into something else. It becomes something else. And I think that's what we're seeing, is that the kids of the kids, like the great grandkids, are growing up right now, and they're like, nah, you know, they're not interested in that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
They're not even interested in the same cars. Some kids don't even want a car. You know, some kids don't.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what they said. The future is going to be no one's going to own vehicles because everyone's taking Ubers.
Everybody's Uber.
Nobody wants to actually drive.
Yeah. Even my mom. I love my mom. And shout out to my mom for having me. Yeah. I wouldn't be here without you. She said she even knows El Uber.
El Uber.
she's never used it because she's very skeptical. Like, I'm not getting in a car with a random stranger.
I know my mom's the same way. She will not get in an Uber, bro.
You know,
It's part of that. Like,
and my dad's too. Like, I'm not gonna let some guy drive me and, you know, smash the car or whatever. So it's kind of funny. I don't think they're ever gonna use an Uber.
no, but that's like older generations, though.
Yeah. Right.
They do got raiteros, and they trust those people.
They do. They do got raiteros, and there's plenty of them.
The dudes that set up.
Yeah, Indio's growing. We got exercise going on right now.
Oh yeah, some guy just passes with the bike, shouting out to Indio.
Yeah, he gives a shout out.
That dude. There's like people raiteros right there by the Andes over there in Coachella.
Oh yeah.
By the where?
Blockheads. Yeah, the blockheads.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, there's always people there.
There's always people there. That's a cool. I like that. That's super cool.
That's a cool business.
They found something.
Yeah.
They're digging. You believe me or not, guys? I mean, it's kind of funny that this is, but they found something.
Are they allowed to dig?
That's another good question. You know, is the owner of the land
okay with them destroying the grass looking for those gold coins?
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, dude, definitely. Where are we at? Oh yeah, vendors from other cities. Yeah, I think it's cool to bring them. I think you need to have a mix. The other thing is like, if you do an event in a certain location all the time, right?
Yeah.
It's just, to me, like, from like kind of a simplistic sort of viewpoint, you should probably put like permanent infrastructure that you're gonna need there all the time. Kind of like with Coachella. Did you notice that like a couple years ago they put like permanent restrooms in?
Yeah, the new
that's
restrooms.
cool. You know, like that's like needed, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, we need restrooms because we don't just need a bunch of porta potties. We need restrooms, right? So I mean,
yeah, and even over there by where they have the beer garden, that's by the restaurant that's right there in the polo fields.
Yeah.
They added like little benches, like permanent for polo and for the festival as well, so people could sit. You don't have to pop up and stuff. It just makes sense if you're just gonna have it in the same location. Why everything has to be a pop up? One thing I wanted to ask you is, like, I mean, Coachella is the most profitable music festival in the world. Like, it makes the most money of any music festival in the entire world, and it's right here in Indio. And then you have the Stagecoach, the biggest country music festival in the world, but you still have like a lot of problems in Indio, like homelessness. There's a lot of homeless people.
Yeah.
You have your downtown is pretty deserted. I know things are changing, but it's been years like that, and it just doesn't make sense that you have the same city hosting these big events, and then what happened to the rest of the year and the rest of the city?
Yeah, and then we go back to, like, you know, when you do an event, you know, it's always good. It's always a good idea to just keep parts and pieces like that you think might help benefit the growth of that from a local standpoint. Because if you have the locals behind you on a certain anything, whatever you're doing, you know, if you have the community behind you, I think it's very key for the growth of whatever business you got. Just like if your employees believe in you, then it's only gonna help benefit the growth of your business.
Yeah.
And I think it's like that's almost how I look at it. Like, I worked for government almost like my entire working career, right? And what I've learned is that I've had, I think, like, I don't know, a lot of city managers, a lot of bosses, and I think it's right now, you know, everywhere you go, you meet new people, and you kind of see where they want to take the city, you know.
Yeah, their vision.
Right now we have leadership in the city, and it is cool to see these new ideas of doing these events for more locals, and seeing the support from cities, like we did Coachella, like we're doing in Indio, and Palm Springs. Palm Springs is supportive. Is, you know, I know they're very busy. It's a you know, it's a huge city, but
yeah,
you know, getting the support of government, the people, you know, all of that is only going to help benefit you. So, how is it that this big city, this huge profitable city, how, or the event, the big profitable event, and how do we keep maintaining? How do we use that energy that's left?
That's there, yeah.
Yeah. How do we keep it going? I think one thing, it doesn't fall on them either. I think it has to be from everybody.
The community.
The community has to want it.
Yeah.
And so if we want to see something, we all gotta kind of help each other and make it happen. If we want to see more local events, then we gotta speak up. Go to these. If you
People have to show up too.
Yeah, you gotta show up.
People want change, but if you're not contributing, or you only show up and it's already established, though, and it's already cool.
Yeah.
But you're skeptical, or I don't want to say hating, but you don't want to like, oh, I'm not gonna go to that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're kind of like, oh well, maybe I'll go if it's popping.
Yeah, or if it's kind of like your Foodie Fridays, how you said the first day you had like 20 people show up.
Yeah.
And yesterday there was no parking. Like not even the entire Indio Mall, there was no parking because it was so packed. There was like lines for every vendor. It was insane. So that's what happens. Now people are showing up, and people have been driving by that for a couple of weeks, and they don't want to stop by until maybe enough people start posting on their social media, or they saw a lot of cars. And now I feel like next week's even going to be bigger because all the people are going to want to go.
Yeah, and it's cool because the vendors are like, the vendors are taking it to the next level. I mean, street vending is next level stuff.
Yeah.
It's a hustle, you know. It reminds me when I was in when I was a kid, I used to sell Mexican candy. I used to sell Mexican candy out of my backpack. Yeah. So I'd carry like a couple books, but then I'd sell Mexican candy in my backpack. And I remember when I first started selling the candy, I was other people like, oh, I'm gonna sell candy too, and they started selling candy, little things. And I kind of took a break from it. I let them take over it. Yeah. And there was probably like 4 or 5 other kids selling Mexican candy after I started. And then when I decided to kind of observe where they were going, I asked the friends, like, even me myself, like, what is this missing? How can I take this to the next level? And what I did was I was like, hey, I'm going to put a little bit of all the Mexican candies that I like, put them in a bag.
Sell packages.
And like mini packages. And that's exactly what I did. I sold little packages of just different, like I had a mazapan, little pelon. Yeah. I had a little chaca-chacas. I don't know, maybe they weren't called chaca-chacas then, but something along those lines. You get the little Lucas, the Lucas powder.
I love that shit.
A couple of them little square packets of the little green ones.
The salt ones.
The salty ones.
The salty lime ones,
yeah. The ones that you eat and then it breaks your tongue up and all that.
You can put those on beer too.
Yeah, you put them on beer
now. Bro.
We didn't know that until at that time. But yes, so I put made a little gift pack. Like, this is it. This is the party pack, and they sold like hotcakes. And when I was originally selling like the mazapans, I was selling them at that time like I think I was like 25 cents a mazapan. Well, if I did the math and I did all the math, I literally wrote down all the math, and I was making about 150% more profit on my little gift package.
The packages than individual.
Yeah. The only thing was it was more labor. I'd get them, put them up, and it was a little bit more overhead because I had to get 6 different packages of candy versus just one and try to sell one.
That's true.
And it's funny because like here I am, 20 years later doing the same thing. Like now it's like
just a larger scale.
It's just a larger scale. I'm like, well, we gotta get a taco truck. We gotta get this. We gotta get churros. We gotta get
Yeah. So you've been hustling since you were a kid then?
I suppose, man. It's funny. I did all kinds of stuff. It was funny. One time there was I was in 2nd grade, and this guy came in. They like brought this guy. He was a kung fu guy, kung fu master. He came into our class and talked to us about being a basically I thought a ninja at the time, but I was like, man, that's cool.
He was a ninja.
He was cool. He sold pictures, right? At the end of the day, he gave out pictures, and it was a picture of a ninja. But it was like kind of a cartoon, and he gave a couple out, like he had 10 of them out, and they were in these little plastic sleeves, so it made it look kind of official. If you get artwork and it's in a plastic sleeve. Later, homie.
Later, bro.
And you get them in the plastic sleeve, and it makes it look more legit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Later, dog.
I'll talk to you guys later. Alright, chill. I'll add you on IG, bro. I'll message you.
Okay, for sure.
And
I'm gonna come out in the fucking video.
It's okay. It's okay.
and yeah, he came out and I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, he get it. And the little pictures, he only gave like a couple of them out, and it was like a sought out commodity. People were like, where'd you get the picture? You know, where's the ninja picture, man? And so what I did is I took it home, and I didn't have a printer or a copy machine. I think they were expensive at the time, but so what I did was I got the stencil paper. You ever seen like the paper? It's like thinner, and you put it over
to draw over. Yes.
And I stenciled. So I mean, it wasn't plagiarism, right? I mean, I was like 6. It was normal. As a kid, I didn't know. And then I made it myself because I was like, oh, it needs color, you know. So I'd color in the things, and then I kind of like was like, oh, I'm gonna adjust them. And I started making them do moves, you know, and that shit just took off, and kids were buying my little pictures of that.
Stencils?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So you start selling that dude's artwork.
It's just but I don't do that no more.
If you had a copier, bro, you would have been fucking
I would have been okay. I would have blown up.
You would have been just damn.
Oh man, I could have owned a hotel by now.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's how you start. Like I bet you were doing this without thinking. Like I'm just gonna start making money doing this, doing that.
Yeah.
I used to sell Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh yeah.
I used to sell that.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
I was into Yu-Gi-Oh more, but I used to like just sell people and buy it off people. I would buy like cards out of people that don't know, like they only like the shiny ones because it's shiny so it looks cool or whatever. But
the holograms.
The holograms. But there's the competitive game. Some of the best cards are just common. Some of the cards they might have the holographic letters. They're rare.
Okay.
They were rares, but they're worth more than some of the holographic ones because in a competitive game, like you need 3 of those cards in your deck or whatever.
Oh wow!
So I would buy. Since I would trade like some of my holographics that are worth nothing because you can't even use them in competitive. Flip them, or buy it from those people and then sell them, and like just kind of like hustle people like that.
That's so cool. Oh man, I wonder how much money they made during the Pokemon phase. You know, because the Pokemon was popping off.
It's probably more popular now.
Is it more popular now?
Dude, with the Pokemon Go, like 2016, and then the card game's still good. The video games are still popping.
Wow.
Like no,
I remember. Do you remember Nintendo 64?
Yeah,
the N64.
I still have one. Yeah.
I remember that I was so into Pokemon that I bought a game, and I can't remember the name of the game, but the game was you would go around and you would take pictures of Pokemon.
Yeah, it's Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap,
Pokemon Snap, bro.
And it's so cool that you like float on a river or something.
And you have to throw like shit in the water.
Throw stuff in the water and then come out, just take a picture of it.
Yeah, and it
was amazing. What a beautiful thing, right?
Do you remember the one where it was like a moltres? You were by I think like a volcano. You would throw something and then the moltres would come out.
Oh yes, that was cool. Yeah. See, that was.
Yeah, I had that game too. Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap, man. Wow, that's crazy.
Then you had Pokemon Stadium, which was pretty bad. They had like mini games, and you had to battle like through a tournament to beat the Elite Four and all that.
You remember when the Pokemon movies came out?
Yeah.
And they give you a limited edition card, you know? I think I went and watched. I made my mom go watch the movie like 6 times
to get the cards.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Hell yeah. It was 1999, 1997.
97.
One of those years, I remember exactly.
Those are good years, man.
Late 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know. It was like right before the internet was huge, you know? It was like, the internet was already there, but not everyone had access to computers and stuff.
That's right.
It was kind of barely a stage, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, now it's just crazy. But.
Dude, I used to, we didn't have that much money growing up, and my mom and dad, they got us a computer from an old teacher. I think it was an old teacher. They got it at a garage sale, and it was like the green, and like it was like a green screen, and it had like dark, you know, like green was the color of it, and it came with like 2 games, like King Kong, which was dope. It was a cool game, but it also came with a cool game, Oregon Trail. You ever heard of Oregon Trail?
Which one was that one?
Oregon Trail is a game where you are on a wagon and you have to get like certain things, and with tokens as you go, or with money, you buy items, and with that you're able to either go hunting, buy medical packs, or whatever. And it was funny because that game, I didn't. It was like, when I think back, I'm like, I wonder if like the people that were designing these video games were like, oh, there's a big need for shooting games, because you were
just saying not to go hunting.
We would just spend all the tokens on hunting, and then we'd get bit by a snake and die, and the whole wagon would die, you know.
Yeah. So
it was so funny. I wonder if they were like, well, everybody's just dying, and spending the money on hunting, so we might as well do these shooting games or whatever.
There's like science behind how they make video games. I know they have the addictive nature. They literally use like psychologists, and they do all this research based on statistics on just making it more addicting, kind of like casinos. Like,
wow.
The different levels, the rewards you get in the games when you kill certain people, or if it could be an adventure game. Like, the little things you're getting, it just keeps you hooked. Oh, I just got something. Let me play it for another 30 minutes or an hour so I could get the next little reward.
Oh, that's cool.
And every time you get it, you get the like adrenaline in your brain, or like you just want to keep going, and it's just, that's what casinos do. Like, you're losing, you get a big payout, you get excited, and you keep going,
Wow.
Like, it's kind of sad, but
that is sad. That's funny because I'm
you still play video games?
Not so much, man. I don't have time.
Yeah.
My girl and me, we played a couple games, but no, we don't really mess with it. We have an Xbox, and we don't mess with it that much. It's there,
Yeah.
But I think there's a couple of times where we're like, all right, we'll play, we'll play whatever. But we don't really mess with video games, to be honest. Not anymore.
I hardly play anymore. I used to be super into Call of Duty, like shooting games and stuff.
Yeah, this
Modern Warfare 2.
those are popular games,
I was super into them, but like you said, right now it's like I have a full-time job, so I work, and then whenever I have any free time, I'm making videos, editing videos, or now we're doing podcasts, doing whatever. So I rather choose. Like, sometimes I'm like, I should be playing video games, but I have to edit this video, or I have to do this. I have to go do this with this photo. Like, you gotta sacrifice too, because if you're not sacrificing, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's cool, but events. So yeah, man. So here we are in Downtown Indio. We're in Downtown Indio right now. You know where we are right now? It's funny, but if you look behind us, you can find the old pictures. But that used to be. You see those arches right here. If you guys ever come down to Miles and Smur, there's two stone kind of columns. Those were the stone columns for the Indio Hotel. The Indio Hotel used to be right there.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You can look up. I'll show you some pictures. But the Indio Hotel used to be right over there with all those palm
columns.
trees. Yeah, and that was kind of like I think it said Indio Hotel.
What happened to that?
I think it burned down. I really don't know, man. But there used to be like another hotel in like the Potter Hotel. I think that was another one that was
more than
yeah, that was taken down. I think it's right where the new COD is. But and then right behind us, another building. It fell also, and it was. I had heard that back in the day when there was the army, there was a lot of soldiers here. Yeah. That was a commissary, and it was a Safeway where you would, and it was like, it's not the commissary you would think today, like where people rent space to cook. No, it was a commissary where you would get your rations, whatever you would get, food and whatever, and I think that was a Safeway.
Oh, shit.
That's what I heard.
I don't know. I don't remember how it used to. I'm too young to remember all the time. But I looked at photos and stuff and read some stuff. But I wish we could definitely turn this place around.
Where we're getting there, we've so in the works right now. We have a couple of events that we want to throw here in downtown. We're working with Avenida Music, which is actually right on the beginning, on the furthest west part of Miles in downtown Indio. It is right next to AMP, which is like it's a nonprofit that does like it helps kids learn how to play music. They help them get studio time and stuff like that. So we were talking and we're like, hey, let's kind of connect this area on this side to that area over there and throw some cool events and a little more like. It's funny because when you think local, you think kind of sometimes in other cities you think local and it's like boring. But we have so many cool locals that it's actually cooler that it's local than not. And it's like, you know what I'm talking about?
It's so much talent, so much shit going on here that people just don't know about. Like there's so much potential. And it's slowly starting to change though. I think over the last year and a half, people are starting to like appreciate where they live and appreciate the valley and appreciate local culture just because things are changing.
It's super cool, man. I mean, if you go to LA's cool. Don't get me wrong. LA, San Diego, any big cities, super cool. But the thing is you don't know anybody there.
It's too big.
It's too big. And here, it's like if there's like a really cool musician that you want to meet or whatever, you could probably meet them if you go to their venue and like go say what's up. They're probably gonna like chat with you.
Hell yeah.
Which is super freaking cool, And like I know Giselle just played right here, and she's playing Coachella this year.
Yeah.
And she's like one of the most approachable persons. You just go up.
She's super cool.
Yeah, super cool. Ocho Ojos, all the guys from Ocho Ojos, and not just them, but you got Provoke, Willoughby. We got a lot of local really talent. Cool, talented musicians.
And even just that, like you alluded to earlier. Your CV food truck events, you get people that you run into that you went to school with that you haven't seen in a long time, old neighbors, family members, like it's dope, and that's what people want. Like, you want to just come together for those type of moments. Yeah,
and I think it's like becoming that, But I think it has to be a mix of everybody. So when the people are like, oh, it's gonna be it's a local event, it's so cool. Because I love the locals, so it's like.
Well, that's one of the reasons that I started my YouTube channel too. Like, it's like I didn't know anyone making content here in the valley, and even now, like, because I've been doing this for like 5 years. The first 2 years it was just experimental. Like I started with book reviews. I had a YouTube channel since 2007, but I didn't actually want to become a content creator till 2015. So I kind of wasted those years. I should have started fucking back then. I was already uploading videos, but. I was like, no one's making videos, so I'm gonna start making videos. And then I've seen people start their own like YouTube channels and other stuff, and they give up after like 6 months, or they give up after a couple videos because no one's watching. But you just gotta keep going.
Yeah, that's the. They say there's no such thing as good luck, just hard work and dedication, right?
Yeah.
So, or whatever. There's like good luck equals hard work and hard work times dedication. So it's like there's like no such thing as good luck.
It's hard work time. And being prepared for the opportunities. So you know, like you work hard, you're gonna get your shot. You're gonna get your opportunity. And I heard Gary Vee. You follow Gary Vee?
Yeah, I've heard about him.
There was one thing that he said is like, if you literally just start doing something, whatever it is, whatever your passion is, could be coffee, could be making videos, could be starting whatever it is. For example, the Pokemon stuff, he used it in that video. It's like if you really love Pokemon and you made 800 videos on every Pokemon and you had your top 10 video, whatever. When 2016 happened and you had the Pokemon Go, it became like the most worldwide phenomenon ever. Like everyone was in the streets trying to find Pokemon, and then you have that channel build like for becoming the biggest thing. Yeah. Or if you had the Sonic, if you were a Sonic person, and now like I think in a couple of weeks the new Sonic movie's coming out. Like you could have so much traffic trying to find the facts about the video games that you could have videos and blogs about them. Like you could literally find, you're gonna get your moment. That's what I'm trying to get. Like there's always gonna be trends that go towards your direction or whatever your passion is, and the opportunity is gonna come. But if you don't just stick to it, it's gonna.
No, you're right, dude. You're 100% right. It's like. So don't give up on something if you don't see results right away. It's not all about instant gratification. People use that like, oh, you're just obsessed with instant gratification, and I don't think that you necessarily need to only do things because you want to see results.
Exactly.
But I think that results are just a
Like a good sign.
it's
like,
a good sign. It's a results are just a result.
Yeah.
Results are a result of resulting. You know, I'm just
Shit's
saying.
getting deep.
It's just getting really deep right here. But yeah, no, I mean, I like Gary Vee's energy though. I like it when people are very enthusiastic.
Yeah. Just positive energy.
Positive
in general.
energy, man.
'Cause everyone's negative.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many negative people. I mean, I saw somebody the other day. They got mad. I just saw somebody get mad at. I think it was at a gas station, and I was just like, why? Why are you mad?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Like just yelling and shit, or
They were just like freaking out, and I was like, I think it was the pump wasn't working. You know?
oh, they were super frustrated.
And I was just like, man, there's so many other pumps here, you know? Like, why don't you find another pump? People are like, I heard that. I was also, some of my friends did the homeless count in Indio recently. It just happened. I don't remember the name of it, but it was counting all the homeless. And one of my friends was telling me that he was asking them, why did it get to this point? You know, how did you become homeless? He said that a lot of the guys were saying, well, a divorce. It was a big divorce.
Yeah.
Then numerous people were like, it's a big divorce.
Divorce, damn.
And I think, I'm like, you know, there's so many people in this world. You know, you can't let like one wrong occurrence, especially about something like that, hinder your growth. You know.
Yeah.
So.
What do you know a rough estimate how many homeless they?
I don't have the results. They said they were tallying them up, so that I'll shoot you those numbers, man. But yeah, it's a sad story, you know. Like,
yeah.
And a lot of times, you know, people have different opinions. Should money go there? Should money not go there? And are we doing the right things? Should we be building tiny homes? I think yes and no. Yes, I mean we need to come up with something really cool. I'll kind of give you a little thing too. Just being in construction for so long, that's my background in construction. What I saw is that development costs are really high. It's hard to develop something, a piece of land. If you want to commercially develop a piece of land, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Very high numbers. A lot of times the return on investment's not there. So the development costs are exorbitantly high because of infrastructure costs, which are forever will be growing, and they will not stop being higher and higher. They're just going to be higher.
Yeah.
And so one thing that we were talking about the other day was, well, we need to build these tiny home villages. And my whole thing was, it doesn't necessarily have to be a tiny home village, but I think if we had RV resorts like we have here in the Coachella Valley,
Yeah.
if we had like RV resorts that allowed people to bring their RV and you deck it all out, you do your thing, and you can live there, I think that's a little more attainable, you know, versus just jumping into wanting to build something from the ground up. It's just too expensive. It would
take too long.
It would take too long. All the hoops you'd have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, it's almost like here goes Eric with his pop-up ideas. It's like realistically, it's like you could do. It's almost like a house pop-up. You know, you bring the RV, you park it, or you know, there's so many. If you guys want to talk about affordable housing or whatever, look on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, whatever, and look at RVs.
Yeah.
Old RVs, right? That say still running,
Mm-hmm.
like $2,000, $3,000,
Yeah.
like dirt cheap. You could deck one of those out, bro. I've
That's
seen
true.
some pretty cool. We go and then look at the same one and go on Pinterest. You know, look at Pinterest. All the stuff that people do with RVs.
Oh, it's crazy. Even those containers, like the train track
Yes.
containers. People
Yeah.
make homes out of that shit.
Of course.
And badass ones. And you look at the price, it's like $20,000, but it looks like better than my own home.
Yeah, you're right. You know what I mean?
You're like, instead of spending $500,000 on this house, you could buy some dope stuff. But then you would still need a place to park them, or
You need an RV
permanent-
resort. Yeah, you need a resort. You need a location for 'em.
Mhm.
So I think the most important thing is if we can find
The
a
cheapest
RV
one.
park,
Yeah.
and we just take over it.
You know, there's I didn't even know about it. There's an RV park in Sky Valley,
Okay.
a resort. It's like 1,000 homes in there.
Really?
In Sky Valley, in the middle of Dillon Road, going towards
Wow.
DHS. It's more for like retired people, because we had a little side job right there, and I had never gone in there, and it's actually nice and quiet. Like, just people retire there.
You know, have you ever thought about working backwards? Have you ever thought about what do people do when they retire? So what is their ultimate goal? And you see, like, when they retired, what did they do? They bought an RV. They went to travel the world, you know?
Yeah.
And to not be tied down to anything.
They sell their homes. Their kids are in college, whatever.
What if you started with that?
Wow, I never thought of that shit.
You know what I mean? What
That
if
is true.
You know, what if you started there and then worked backwards, right? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like how does it get to that point? You know what I'm saying? Like,
And especially if you're willing to, you know, go to college and spend $80,000 trying to get your degree instead of spending your money or whatever, having fun and enjoying your life, like you're saying, that would be a good thing.
you know, I mean, how much happier would we be?
Yeah.
You know, there's this guy, I forgot, my buddy Josiah with Avenida. He told me that there was I want to say the guys was it Google, and what they do is they tell you, like, okay, if, like, let's say the food truck park. If we did the food truck park on a scale of 1 to 10, right? We scale the food truck park 1 to 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
We say, what is the entertainment value from the food truck park? And, like, what did you like about it? All right, well, this is what I liked about it. What would you rate it? The experience, you know, and that would take into fact, like, affordability, fun,
Mm-hmm.
the fun factor, the accessibility, the restrooms, whatever. You come up with a list, and you know, you hit it with that, and then you give everything a number, and then you say, okay, what would it take to, if you gave me a 5, like, the experience was a 5, okay, what would a number 10 value look like?
Mm-hmm.
It would look like this. What would 100 value look like? What would 1,000 value look like? What would 1,000,000 value look like? You know, you're like, oh, well, you know, I come in and I'm in a Rolls Royce Phantom, you know, and I come out and, like, everybody comes up and puts me in the air, and I go up and I'm eating tacos and I'm pouring horchata on my face, you know. I don't know, right? And then you get the stuff that isn't worth anything, like from the 1,000 value, that you're like, oh, well, this wasn't, there's some stuff in that has no material cost. It's just experience factor.
It's the experience. That's
it.
That's what people want. The
You know what I'm
experience. That's what it is now. It's like you don't need a cool infrastructure. You don't need to have ample parking. You need the experience. Like you were saying, people are willing to walk. If you go down 6th Street Coachella when there's events, 6th Street Coffee, whatever, people are parking far away, like 2 blocks away, just to go be part of the experience. Like,
That's right.
They're willing to do that because they that's what they value. They want to have a good time. They want to, especially now. I know people also go because they want to post on social media, and that's a lot of people hate on that, but I think it's still getting people out to do stuff.
Yeah, no, I think
it's a good thing. But
I think so too.
you know what I was thinking the other day? Like, what happened to the Indio swap meet? Why is it dead?
The India swap meet is a tough one. I think it's just like any other, like, street fair, any other stuff. If you don't switch it up, it's all maintenance to it. It's all like, if I do the same thing and leave the same thing every time. I'm not saying that corporations have it all figured out, but just the common sense, like, they put a lot of money into thinking about how to redesign their business.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at, like, a Burger King, or you look at, like, a Taco Bell, or any of those businesses, they are constantly remodeling their stuff.
Constantly bringing new items.
They're rebranding their menus,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're rebranding the experience. You know, they have electronic kiosks everywhere, right? They got the electronic kiosks, not just because of the experience factor, but low cost. Yeah, exactly. Lowering the amount of overhead for their wages, yeah. And it's like you look at what they did, and you're like, okay, well, if I have a certain, like, let's say the swap meet, how do I bring a new experience. And I recently saw that they started bringing animals or something.
And not even just that, but
Advertisements.
Think about how many McDonald's billboards are on the freeway, commercials, on street signs. There's McDonald's advertisement everywhere, and McDonald's is the number one fast food brand. Like, they shouldn't be spending any advertising money because everyone already goes to McDonald's.
That's right.
They know that if they don't spend that money, other people are gonna take up those. So I don't know what the hell. They just saw maybe they don't. I never heard them advertise that stuff. So.
I haven't seen them I think that also, like, just free social media. Like, you and I use Instagram a lot. We use the Facebook. And you use YouTube way more than I would love. I want to start using more YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, social media, although maybe people don't like the word of social media or what it may represent the bigger picture, but it's a great tool to communicate with your audience.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to take care of your people, the people that come see you. Like, I saw somebody there that I've seen every event that we do, they always show up. So I went in and I was like, I saw them and I was like, oh, I'm gonna hook them up. So I went in, I got into the truck and I was like, oh, you know, they're like, oh, hey, you know, I'm like, what would you guys like? And they're like, oh, this is your truck. I'm like, no, not really, but I tend to take over it right now. And I hooked them up, you know, I gave them like some tacos and stuff like that. And I can guarantee you that they felt so stoked. They reposted the stuff. They got like posted the stuff. So it's like,
that's awesome.
It's like that's the kind of little stuff that I feel like giving out samples. Every business should give out samples. I think it's so important that we do that, because either way we spend money. Either way we're spending money, and whether we realize it or not, we're spending money every single moment, you know. And how do we get the bang for our buck? And I think just giving them a little bit taste of your experience. People do the free estimates.
Yeah.
You see construction, right? Everybody says free estimates.
Yeah, I get free estimates all the time.
And that takes time.
Oh yeah.
And time is money, right?
I have to measure the house, talk to the owner. And then sometimes you don't get the job sometimes, but you already wasted that hour. You could have been doing something else, fixing other problems. I know what you mean.
And now, how do you not see that? You see that, right? And you're like, oh, well, these people are dumping a lot of time, a lot of money in this, and they may not get anything from it. But if given the opportunity and you're able to give somebody like a taste of what you're selling, that's huge. Getting them to your door is the most important thing. Getting them in that door is the most. If there's someone in your line and they're standing in front of your line looking at your menu and they're looking, just making that first point of contact is very important. It's also important to wait. Waiters and waitresses are not good at waiting.
Yeah.
And what I mean is, like, when there's business deals that are happening, what I'm realizing is the food truck park is actually more. There's more value to it than not. People like going there, and they like taking even not just their friends and family, but I'm starting to see more people bring their business partners.
Oh really?
Yeah, and they're doing business deals, and I can see it happening, and I think that that's a huge value, a value that is unmeasurable. I mean, maybe to an extent, but if people can go somewhere and they feel comfortable enough to make a decision on a business, you got to think, what is that experience doing that mine isn't, and what can I do to take from that, you know?
Yeah.
If the Pomona swap meet's cracking and it's amazing, it's doing great, what are they doing that we're not? Are they doing a car show? How much does that cost, you know?
Yeah. Are you always doing research on what other people are doing in other cities?
Every vendor in the swap meet should have an Instagram. And even if you sell, you know, cleaning products, you should have a social media following. And you should be following if you only have, let's say I work at any sort of shop, and let's say the swap meet, and I'm a vendor there, and I have about every week I have the same 10 customers.
Yeah.
I should have an Instagram, and I should be friends with every one of those 10 customers, and I should hook them up with deals. Also, I should have some sort of loyalty program, even if it's those 10 people. as well as I should follow all of their friends, because if they like my product that much, they're talking about it.
Yeah.
So I should
The
probably be friends with them.
association.
Yeah, guilty by association. Yeah, so I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and those are the kind of little things that take time, you know.
Oh, you keep going.
Yeah, it's like, and I see you do it too. You know, you follow people that like your stuff. Like, you follow friends that people that like your stuff. You know, and it keeps you growing. So and I see that you respond to your messages on YouTube. If somebody comments, you comment back. You know, there's.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Yeah, for YouTube, like, I'm always commenting. I know sometimes I fall behind because I get, right now, especially when it's like right now is my busiest time because I make a lot of Coachella related videos. So there's some comments that I haven't gone to, but for the most part, I comment right away whenever I get a chance. Just because I know they're taking their time out of their day to comment on my video. They're watching my video in the first place. It's the same thing, getting people in the door. That's the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
They're leaving a comment. That means that they're interested or they have a question, and I want to answer and provide that value.
Yeah.
Do you keep going at the cameras or?
They're a little hot.
Yeah, with the heat.
You want to move it?
We could keep going with the audio though.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's I think that's all really cool stuff, dude. Like the how.
Have you guys ever, or have you ever thought about doing a pop up right there where they have the Indio Swami, like in
the parking lot or with them
in that venue?
Yeah, you know, I think that's cool. To do it in the swap meet. I like the swap meet. I think the swap meet's cool. But that's with everything else, you have to start adjusting what you do. You gotta adjust your whole business model to meet the needs of your customers. And you know, yeah, you have to adjust your business model to meet the needs of your customers. Is very important.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know what happened to that. I feel like the online stuff where a lot of the stuff that they sell at the Swami is stuff you could get on Amazon now too.
And that's the other thing too is retail. Retail's tough, man.
Mm-hmm.
Retail's tough, and I think personalized retail still has some teeth to it. Branding stuff. I think the art component to. Have you noticed how Starbucks people buy more of those like cups that look like they were drawn by some artist? You know, they like that stuff.
That's true.
You know, and so
people want to support art. And
yeah.
I feel like this is one of the best times to be an artist, because before I feel like you couldn't make a living, and now with social media you could always be sharing your stuff,
mm-hmm.
going to these pop-ups, going to these places, posting, like you said, to all your followers that already support you or they're following you for a reason. Like, and also be considerate when it comes to your followers though, because I see a lot of people that get frustrated because their followers aren't supporting everything they do. But
yeah,
you can't ask these people to do anything. Like, you shouldn't have expectations. Like, just do what you do, and some people are going to keep supporting you no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to do that because I know some people get frustrated. They feel like they should be making more, or they feel like they bring so much value that they're not getting a return from the people that are supporting them. But I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, those are all good points. You know, the idea of relationships within businesses is important. I think that if you own a certain type of business, you should be friends with everybody that does the same business as you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Within a certain radius, you should, or even within a certain business model. And the reason why is I don't think that you should steal ideas. I don't think that's true. But I go back to the fact that there's values that don't cost anything that you could do as experience wise to all be on the same page. There's a reason why, you know, a lot of smog shops charge around the same amount of money, right? Because they don't want to compete. They don't want competing values.
Mm-hmm. Take
it a next step further, and if you're a restaurant, then I'm gonna just blow people's mind right here. If I was in a group of restaurants, right, and I was in a shopping center, there's 10 restaurants there.
Yeah.
If we all met and we said, what are our busiest days? This, and this. This, and this. What are our slowest days? These, and these. Okay. If we all have the same common denominator that we have the slowest days on Tuesday, Where the slowest day is Tuesday. We should all get together and say, hey, all of us have these big sales on Tuesdays, you know, and just switch it up, you know, and constantly be on the lookout for collaborating and doing other ideas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you do want to make friends with your competition because you can't serve everyone, and we sometimes get greedy. And you're a restaurant, you want to get every customer.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, on the tile business that I'm in, I am friends, or we are friends with some other contractors and other people that do this, because there's times where we get jobs and we are too booked, like we really can't take it, or we might not benefit. And I always recommend, like, oh, hit up this number, maybe they're available.
That's right.
Hit up this person, they're available. Like, I'm bringing business to them because we can't do everything. And the same thing with them, like they always call us like, hey, we have this, or this guy's looking for work, or do you have someone that's looking for work? You know, like we help each other out because we're all part of the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's very key. You just being friends with everybody within a business model is very important. It's just competitive. People are like, these days, sometimes it just trips me out sometimes that, you know, that you don't think twice about talking bad about somebody's business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the most places don't remember you for the good things that you do in your business, but they remember you for the bad things.
Oh yeah.
You're always, like most businesses, you always remember the bad experience you had at that one restaurant.
Yeah.
But you forgot that you've gone there 30 other times and there were 29 of them were great.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Is that going back to negative thinking?
Negative thinking, getting out of that mindset and just taking one step back and saying, okay, well, on an average, they're doing really good.
Yeah, like these people are human. Like they're humans working behind the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Like even people get mad at like cashiers or waiters and stuff when they can't control. They're just being told, like, if you have a complaint and they tell you that's what they have to sell it to you for this, or sometimes they don't make up the prices. It's the boss is telling them this, and you're getting mad at the cashier. She's just doing her job, you know. She's trying not to get fired.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just people need to, like you said, take a step back and analyze everything.
Yeah. Take a step back and think twice before you talk negative about somebody. And you know, you're not gonna make everybody happy. I don't think that's the ultimate goal either, to make everybody happy. But I think if you're able to provide a good experience at a reasonable price, it's profitable. That's a viable business. And I think that if you have a good time while you're doing it, that's probably one of the most important parts. Because at the food, whenever we do events, we always will leave cool with everybody. Like, everybody has a good time no matter what.
Yeah.
I have like a core group of like probably 5 or 6 vendors that they have been with me through thick and thin, bad events, good events. In the past, March was our first event. We've done about 90 or something since then.
Damn, that's...
Yeah, you know, right?
No, like, do you ever take breaks, bro? Like, I always see you, like, you're always hustling. Either one weekend you're here, another weekend you're here, pop up here, Palm Springs, Indio, Coachella. Like, you're everywhere, bro. At this event here, this event that.
Yeah, and then the way I was able to do it, I started getting people to help me manage the venues, you know. And that was the only way. It first I wanted to be hands-on, and real quickly I learned that there's no way. They always say, run the business, don't let the business run you.
Yeah.
Right. And I was on the phone the other day with a really cool podcast. It was called it's called The Restaurant Coach, Donald Burns.
Yeah. The
Restaurant Coach. And he's just freaking phenomenally smart dude, just super next level about business concepts. And I called him up. All right, you could schedule a meeting and chat with him. I called him up. He answered and we chatted for like, he's like, all right, I will give you like, I think he was gonna give me a couple minutes. I think we talked for like an hour and a half.
Wow.
You know, he's like, oh, here's my personal cell phone. You know, I like the hustle, the ambition. You know, he started seeing the stuff. He's like, oh, you got a decent following, this and that. And he was just like, okay, I can see this going. And he just gave me all kinds of pointers, like basic stuff that it was blue. Like I was like, went way past me.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know, those little things, making that phone call, making that connection, you know, how is it gonna help me manage my business better, and so I can take it to the next level? Because we're almost to that point. Like, we've hit like the 90. We're like at like almost 100 events. This is crazy for a 9-month-old business.
Yeah.
That we're not head over heels in debt. You know what I mean? Like, we're okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And it's like, we don't manage one. We manage like, I think I counted like over 100 or 200 vendors that we work with.
Damn. That's
So,
dope.
you know what I mean? So to be able to juggle that is, to me, I think it's such a cool accomplishment. It shows commitment from our team, and it just shows dedication.
Mhm.
And right now, I like to be on the face of it because I do have a heart for the community that we're serving. But nonetheless, you know, the growth that we're seeing right now, a lot of it has to do with the support we get.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't do this without help. Definitely. You always need even a team. A team could be 2 people. A team could be, I don't know how big your team is.
And that's pretty big. But yeah, you definitely need a couple people.
You need a team, and you need support, and you need the community in order for this to work. Now, before we wrap it up, I just want to say, for people that want to start their own food trucks, that people want maybe be involved in coming to these events, like where can people reach you, or what can they do?
Well, we are on social media as CV Coachella Valley CV Food Trucks, and you can reach us on Instagram at CV Food Trucks, or on Facebook, same thing, at CV Food Trucks. That's kind of our handle right now. Also, if you do hashtag CV Food Trucks, hashtag Coachella Food Truck Park, we are under so many business models. I think we manage a foodie so at Foodie Rescue, 760 Night Market, CV Night Market. I don't even know how many handles we got. CV Food Trucks is the main one. But hit us up, and follow Angel too. He's doing some cool stuff out here. It's just supporting the local community, both art, business, everything.
Well, thank you, man. It's a good episode, but it's a little hot.
We're dying
downtown,
over here.
it's like 1 o'clock. The sun's overhead. But we'll definitely have more episodes once we get the studio. We're working on a studio right now. Once we have a permanent spot, we'll be doing more episodes with Eric and his team. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank
this.
you.
See you guys next time.